moment, my friend.
Welcome to the very special episode, the second episode of Nothing But Net. I'm your host, Taylor Hudson, and I'm with my co-host,
Karl-Heinz. And today I think we're going to talk about some previews and predictions for this upcoming week's Champions League, for the set on Tuesday and the set of games on Wednesday.
This is going to be a really short episode, roughly about 30 to 40 minutes, kind of like the last episode, but we're just going to talk about a couple games that Carl has selected. This episode will only focus on Champions League as basketball is really not started yet, still doing random PR stuff in the NBA. So we decided to stay with the Champions League. So, Carl, you picked the games. You started off. What's your first game you want to look at and talk about?
Yeah, all right. So we're going to start on Tuesday's games. That is, I think the first game I wanted to look at was PSG and Galatasaray. Now, I think just from the outside looking in, I think this game looks pretty straight up PSG is going to just dominate the game. But I think there could be some underlying things that could help for Galatasaray. I think it might be a little bit closer than people feel. I think they could pull out a draw, but they'd have to play a pretty perfect game. I think there are some things going for them. Their recent form has been all right. A few ties in the league, tie in Champions League. But I definitely think with Falcao, if he gets going up top, I think they have a chance. They keep it low scoring. But I don't know if PSG's top three are going to be in, if Mbappe, Neymar, or Cavani are going to be in. But if they are, that's a game changer. But if they're not, I think Galatasaray has an outside chance at a point.
An honest draw for the new signee of Falcao. I did not know he went to Galatasaray. Well, not that I didn't know, that I forgot. They've played 3 league games since, and their recent 6-game streak has been 4 draws and 2 Ws. So they haven't lost in the last 6 games, which has been pretty good. PSG, they have played only 2 matches since Champions League, so they're coming in off 2 Ws, well rested, and they've won a couple games in the Liga 1. And I'm going to go with PSG getting 3 points, too attacking heavy for Galatasaray to take.
Yeah, I would give them the edge as well. I'd say, I don't know if I want to give Galatasaray a go. I'll give it 3-1 PSG. I think it's just going to end up being too much. But I don't think it's they dominate the whole way through. I think it'll be maybe 2-1 at halftime and Galatasaray pushing, and they end up giving up a goal, and it's 3-1 at the end.
It's going to be like the 2015 Chelsea meltdown versus PSG. Except it's going to be PSG that's going to play down the hammer at Galatasaray. But I think it's kind of weird that Galatasaray has played 3 league games since Champions League. I was just
That's a rough schedule.
Yeah, you play 3 you play 3 league matches, then you go to Champions League, and PSG's only played 2 since then. To the next match.
And this is the one I've had my eye on. Definitely biased because I am a Bayern fan, but Bayern versus Spurs, I think it's going to be a great matchup this week. Spurs coming off a loss in the Carabao Cup to Colchester United in penalties, but they did end up winning in the league against Southampton. And then obviously they tied Olympiacos 2 weeks ago in Champions League in their first result. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be close. I think 2-1 to Bayern, but I think that's mainly on the play of their new signees. I think Theo Hernandez and Coutinho played very well. I think Perisic, depending on if he starts or not, but I think Perisic has played well on the wing. Perisic, Coman, and if Lewandowski can get going, I think they'll edge out the win.
That's going to be a really good matchup. I think the Spurs right now are really injured. I don't think they're up to form. They're just really slow to get going. Lost to Leicester, lost to Colchester on penalties. They've also drew with Arsenal late, as they gave up a late goal.
And the goal against Southampton was an F up by Lloris. He's been all right lately. He's good with his hands, but when he gets to his feet, I don't know. He's been shaky. He was shaky in the World Cup. I don't know. He's had some.
Yeah, it's been rough ever since he's been caught drinking. That guy has been on a downhill slide. Whoa. Okay. Back to Bayern. new signing, I think one of the guys I've been watching a lot is Pulisic. That guy that's a good signing for Bayern. I think it's really under the radar as they just added him. As you know, in the World Cup, he was the runner-up with Croatia and really just being the engine behind that team. And you also mentioned Philippe Coutinho coming in and his cut to the right and trying bending every shot. He just keeps scoring. But I think another person you had to keep an eye on with Bayern is it Gnabry?
Gnabry,
Gnabry. He started heating up in these couple of matches as he had a goal off a beautiful. Was it a cross by Coutinho, or was it the other way around?
Yeah, it was a cross by Coutinho. I believe
it was beautiful. That was a disgusting cross, but I'm gonna go. I think this is gonna be a game where I think Bayern runs away with it. I'm gonna say 3-0. No Tottenham scores as they're still trying to figure it out. Unless there's a Harry Kane penalty, so 3-1, 3-0.
I'm shaky on Bayern's defense right now. Like I know, like I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about it. Like as much as I like Hernandez as a new signing and they have Sula and Kimmich, I just feel like sometimes they try and play too much in the back. But we'll see how it goes. I have faith though in the Bayern boys.
I haven't looked since you follow them. I don't really follow Bayern that much. Does Pavard start, or does he just like sit on the bench?
He did in the league game, I think against Cologne. But
what position does he play?
Center
Because
back.
Alaba's the left back. Oh, he plays center back. I was gonna say because
he can play
left
outside back too, though.
Okay, yeah. I figured he played.
If you put him at right back, then you can put Kimmich in the midfield if you want to.
Yeah.
So. Because they have that option.
Yeah, I didn't notice it 'cause I forgot that they still have David Alaba. I was like, well, if they have Alaba and they have Coman, where does...
And Theo Hernandez can play out left
Kimmich
as well if Alaba is not fit or whatever. So.
And Tolisso coming back too.
Tolisso, yeah.
From the ACL injury. Bayern's got a little squad. I think last year's
they've definitely rejuvenated since like Iron Robin and Ribery retired. They needed to rejuvenate, and I think they have. I don't know how. I think they still need a few more signings, but yeah, I think that they've done well in the transfer period.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. They've done really well in the transfer period, getting players like Pulisic and Coutinho, adding to that attacking front. Because when you lose Robin and Ribery, even though when they play, they produce quality, but when they don't play, there's a lack of depth there for Bayern, and they filled those spots pretty well, in my opinion.
They were always getting injured too, so. Anyways, on from my favorite team to your favorite team. So we're talking about Bayer Leverkusen at Juventus. I think Leverkusen losing to Lokomotiv last week, as we talked about in the last episode, really not a good result for them. They needed to at least get a point out of that. I think they will bounce back. I really like Kai Havertz for them. I think he's a great player. Kevin Volland is still good as well, even though they lost Leon Bailey as well for them.
Yeah, I forgot that Leon Bailey still plays for that team. I didn't know that he was 22. This guy's young.
He's really young.
And same thing with Kyle Havertz. Or Halvertz, if I said that right.
Yeah, you're good now. But I ultimately, I don't think they have what it takes to beat you. I think their defense is... Even depleted, I think it's still enough to defend against Leverkusen's attack. And their offense is just... I don't think Leverkusen has the defense to keep up with Ronaldo and Cuadrado, who had a beautiful goal in last Champions League game. And
he had a bin. That was disgusting. Cut to that left foot. That was his weak foot. And it was like, wait, Cuadrado, he does that? He has a missile, like just a top bin. But... I'm going to say the sleeper player, but he's heating up right now. Pjanic, 2 goals in his last 2 matches, or last 3 matches, I believe. 3 matches. No, it was 2 matches. No, it was 3. Anyway, no, I don't remember. I think I was watching a replay. I don't remember, or a rerun. But they did beat Spal the weekend where they had a goal from Ronaldo and a goal from Pjanic. Oh, yeah, I was reading this backwards. Wow, I need to really look at this website more. But yeah, Pjanic on fire. He's got 2 goals. He's got no assist yet, which is kind of something you don't really see from Pjanic, being that mid-roll and the guy that can really facilitate and find open spaces for his players. And also, off those 2 goals were off free kicks, and he just banged one of them home against Brescia, which is really nice. But that was a pretty scrappy game I was watching. That was the one I was watching where I thought they drew, but they won. But their recent form ever since drawing with Atletico, they've won 3 in a row. I'm going to say Bayern 2, Bayern Leverkusen 0.
You mean Juve 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0. Yeah.
Oh, what did I say?
You said Bayern. I'll give it to
Bayern, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, okay, yeah. Juventus 2, Bayern Leverkusen none.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Juve as well, but I think it'll be 3-0. I don't think Bayer Leverkusen scores.
Ooh. We're gonna see some Aaron Ramsey, some new signee, and Rabiot and Matuidi running the midfield. I'm still indifferent of who they need to sell, because they even have a lot of the attacking in midfield kind of stacked but old. They got Higuain still, they got Khedira, Matuidi, they have Emery Chan. These people that like they need to figure out what to do with. And I was reading a report earlier that Mario Mandzukic is linked with United. So if he goes to United, thank you for the bicycle kick in the Champions League final. Yeah, I think ESPN was reporting on that.
Dang.
It was either ESPN or I saw it on Twitter, and I was reading it, and he's been linked with Manchester United. But like I said, if you go to the United, that is a dumpster fire to
but they need goals, bro.
With.
I watched their game today against Arsenal. I saw a stat. Aubameyang scored 17 goals in his last 17 matches. United have scored as a team 15 in the last 17 matches. So that just puts it right there what they need to do on offense.
Let me ask you a question. You think Pogba regrets going to Manchester United?
I don't think he regrets it. I just don't think he fits in that team. I think he secured the bag, but I think he still enjoys playing for that team at some points. Obviously there was the tension and everything, but I don't think he regrets it, but I think he definitely would fit better on another team. I think right now, anyone going to United, it's just, I don't even know what's going on there. It's been a mess for the past year. I mean, more than that, but
they've had Sanchez, they've had Lukaku, they got Dybala. They thought they were going to get Dybala, but they got Pogba. They've had all these signings that haven't done anything. They had Mkhitaryan. He plays for Roma now, if you didn't know that. They go through these attacking, players, or these great attacking players, and they don't do anything with them. Di Maria, another guy we talked about on the last episode. Yeah, it's just like, God, what they go for. I don't know what they're doing, but we saw them go through, buy all the attacking players, and we'll do the swaps. And then we're never going to force this youth movement. Like it's so weird, but Chelsea's kind of different because they have the transfer ban until this summer or next summer, something like that.
I think this summer, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's rough. If you're a Manchester United fan, I am sorry, and just we'll take Pogba back, and we'll give you Chan. Or is it Chan or is it Chan?
Yeah, no, it's Chan.
It's Chan, right?
It's
okay,
Chan.
I was making sure. All right, moving on to the next game, Carl. What do you got?
I think this is going to be an under-the-radar type of game, but Shakhtar Donetsk versus Atalanta. I feel like these two teams are pretty evenly matched. I think even though Atalanta's a little bit farther down in the Serie A, I think, and Shakhtar's up at the top of the Turkish league, the Super League. Yeah.
They're
Ukraine.
No. Yeah, they're Ukraine. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
the
Ukraine
Premier
not
League.
Super League. But yeah. They're always at the top of that. I feel like they would be a good matchup for each other. I think, like I mentioned last week, Shakhtar still has those. They're a little bit older now, but those still very good players, Marlos and Tyson. Obviously, they lost Fred a couple years ago to United, but I still think they always put up a good fight in Champions League. Sometimes they get to the round of 16, but I think it'll be a pretty even matchup. Maybe not on everyone's radar, but I think it'll be a 3-2 Shakhtar Donetsk win.
This is one of those games. This is one of those games that you just keep on like your laptop or the like worst quality TV in your house. You just like eyeball it like here and there, and you're like, whoa, why is this game 2-3 right now? And it's halftime. You just keep watching it. But hey. They got my boy on Shakhtar, the FIFA legend, Konoplyanka, the pace beast. I did not know he would.
Oh my God, I forgot he left Schalke.
Yeah, I forgot where he played. He was in the Bundesliga, so I had him on my FIFA
he went
teams.
From Madrid. Wasn't it Madrid?
I do not remember.
He was in La Liga. I don't know what team he was on though. Maybe it wasn't Madrid, but he was in La Liga.
I remember. Yeah,
And
I
then he went
remember
to
him.
Schalke in Bundesliga, and now I didn't even know he went
He's
to
back to
Shakhtar.
Shakhtar. Yeah, dude. Conor Palenka, FIFA legend. But looking at the recent results, this is going to be a really good matchup. Both teams coming in off 2 wins. Valencia beating Roma in Sassuolo. Hey, Roma has got a little decent squad after their little Champions League run last year, which was something magical. Or was it 2 years ago when they beat Barca? It was 2 years. 2 years ago. Oh, wow. I thought it was last year.
Last year was the Barca getting 4-0'd after 3-0ing Liverpool.
Oh, that's right. That is right. So Roma's kind of MIA, El Shaarawy, Mkhitaryan. Yeesh. But back to the main point. I can see a 2-2 draw. Both teams coming in fairly hot. Shakhtar losing to Manchester City, but they always play them, and I feel like Manchester City has their number. But for the whole season so far, the last 6 games, Shakhtar is 5 wins, 1 loss to Manchester City. So my predict draw 2-2.
Yeah, I think that's valid. I almost went for a draw, but I ended up giving Shakhtar the benefit of the doubt. And I think the last game we're going to look at here on Tuesday's games is one that I think could be a potential upset if the favored team doesn't come out ready to play. And I think that's Atletico Madrid at Lokomotiv. Now, Lokomotiv had a pretty good result against Leverkusen last week, winning 2-1, pulling out the win. I think at home for them, pretty much, I think riding high off their wins so far. They beat Zenit in the league a couple days ago. So I think they've been looking nice recently, 4 wins in a row. I think they can take that momentum into this game, get an early goal. They have a chance at getting points out of this game. I'm gonna give it 1-1 to Lokomotiv, or 1-1 tie. But obviously that in the eyes of Lokomotiv, I feel like that's a win. So
yeah, Atletico Madrid really coming off I wouldn't say a shaky performance, but I guess a consistent performance against Real Madrid, as both Madrids are struggling. Real, we already talked about earlier, there. Atletico, so trying to fill that gap. They've lost a couple of players over the last couple of transfer markets, and the biggest one being Griezmann. And they also had they
brought in
Juventus,
João
which
Felix.
is a big win. Yeah. I hopefully he can, take grow on what Griezmann used to do there for Atletico. And they also have Trippier coming up in the defense, but they still have Koke and Diego Costa, if Diego Costa actually plays. And they still have Oblak, and Oblak is one of the best keepers in the world.
Oh, I would say top 5 for sure, and you could argue top 3 goalie in the world right now.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go out. I think this is going to be the game where we see João Felix really show his worth and why he was paid the big bucks and come to Atletico. I think it's going to be 2-1 Atletico Madrid beating Lokomotiv Moscow. Okay, moving on to the Wednesday games, Carl. Who do you got?
First up, we got a heavy hitter. We got Inter Milan at Barcelona. Rematch from last year's group stage. And obviously Barcelona pulling it out 3-1 on aggregate. I think both teams obviously have the talent. I think recent form goes to Inter. I think Inter's played very well lately. Their new signings coming into form. Sanchez playing better. Lukaku finding his Everton form almost. I think they'll put the pressure on Barcelona. Barcelona definitely needs to get a result in the league after tying Dortmund, and probably should have lost that game. But Barcelona did better during last week. They won against Villarreal and they won against Getafe. So I think it's going to be a close game. I think it'll be more defensive than maybe some of the other games. And I'm going to give it to... I want to give it to Inter. I want to, but I think Barcelona is going to bounce back. I don't think Inter is going to have. I think it's going to be 1-0 Barcelona.
I was just starting to look at the Inter Milan schedule earlier in the day, and I'm more excited. I know that this is a Champions League game, but I'm excited for the game they have to play 6 days from that game, or 4 days, I'm sorry. They had to play Juventus, and it's the two top Italian teams going against each other. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Inter and Barcelona. As you said before, Inter is they're the team that's in form right now. Even Alexis Sanchez is scoring. They haven't lost yet. They've only drawn, and that was for Slavia Prague, which they should have probably won.
They honestly almost lost that game, so.
Inter's made the signings as we talked about last episode, and I had to stay true to what I've said. I want Barca to lose the group stage. I think this is the year that they are set up to lose the group stage, as they're an aging team right now. Some of their key players are aged up. They're not aged up. They're getting older. We have Busquets that's getting older. Suarez is 32. Messi being 32, and your defender like Piqué is also 32, and you have Vidal in the midfield, who's also 32, and Rakitic is 31. My point is, this Barca squad is old, and so this is the perfect opportunity, if you do not like Barca like myself, for them to get knocked out of the group stage. I want Inter to win this, but sadly, I think it's going to be 1-1 or 2-2, with I think Messi's going to have some brilliance in this game, as Inter's defense is also an age too, with Godin being older, and I guess that's the only person I can really think of from the defending core. But I think it's going to be 2-2 draw. So my hope of Barca getting knocked out, we'll have to wait until next week for the next setup, or next match, I mean. Sorry.
Yeah,
do you agree
I don't know. It's going to be close. If they get a tie here, that's 2 more points lost. I think, obviously, I think Inter and Dortmund are the best chance of getting out over them. So we'll see how this game goes, but I ultimately think it's Barca. I feel like they're going to get out. So, but I think it's going to be close. It's going to be a game to keep an eye on. So probably probably the best game. There's some there's some good matchups. So, but it's definitely the most high profile matchup of Wednesday.
Yeah, and I think that Messi's going to be brilliant. And I think that he's going to end up he's going to save this team or impossibly win the game. There's going to be a moment where you're like, well, there goes Messi doing Messi things again, because I can't say that about Ronaldo. All right, moving on to the next match. What do you got?
I got Chelsea at Lille. Now, last week we kind of breezed over it. We didn't go into it too in depth, but Chelsea lost to Valencia, or not last week, 2 weeks ago. They lost to Valencia.
Correct.
Barkley controversially stepping up to take the penalty instead of I don't even know who he wanted.
William
instead of William, yeah.
And who was the other person? Was it, I forgot, William, and I can't think of the other person.
But he stepped up to take it, and he missed it. So. That's a good crucial point lost right there, in especially like only making it into Champions League because you won the Europa League. So
right,
they needed to get off to a good start, and they did not. So looking to bounce back. They did lose to Liverpool 2-1. Not this week, but this past week, and then. Beat Brighton and Hove Albion, a couple of days ago in the league. So I think they've been on okay form. Chelsea has been up and down of the season. I think overall their form has been poor, though. Their best player has been Conte by far. They have a lot to figure out. Lampard needs to figure out what he's doing in the managerial role. But they are coming up against a Lille side who has also been in mixed form, getting basically thrashed by Ajax in their Champions League game, and having 2 draws and a win in league form. I think both teams up and down so far. I think it'll be a close game, but I think Chelsea finds a way to win it with the talent they have. They should be able to. Lille will put up a fight, but I think it'll be 3. Actually, I don't think Chelsea can score that many goals. I'll say 2-1. 2-1 Chelsea. It'll be close. Maybe. Actually, you know what? I'll go 2-0. But Lille will have chances to score for sure. I don't think Chelsea's defense is good enough to keep them away from scoring chances. But I just don't think they put one home.
Chelsea, as you mentioned, being up and down, even in the Premier League, this whole youth movement that they have to basically get the most out of for having this transfer ban. They have Batshuayi, Giroud up top, but Mason Mount, as he was just getting into his Champions League debut, he gets his ankle stepped on and he is forced out. They still have Tammy Abraham, who's put 7 goals.
Yeah, Abraham's played
in
well.
6 appearances in Premier League, so he's been playing pretty decent. But the players that we need to look forward to that have really stepped up for Chelsea have been William and Marcus Alonso, the 2 more experienced guys that they have. But this is going to be a real test, I think, for the young guys getting into Champions League play. And another team like Lille that's, not really they don't deserve to be in there, but another team that hasn't had the experience. So I think it's going to be a really good clash. And I didn't know this, going back to my FIFA rant earlier about Conor Palenka, Lille has another ex-FIFA superstar in Remy. I did not know that, Remy.
Yeah.
And I think they need to get Timothy Way in there unless he's not fit. I haven't really heard anything out of his camp or the pages I follow haven't really talked about Timothy Way because I think he was hurt during the summer. But I think Chelsea, this is going to be a stage for Tammy Abraham to really put up some more goals. He's on a hot streak in the Premier League, 7 goals in 6 appearances. So I wanted to say, I forgot Christian Pulisic. He might play too. He's got some experience when he played for Dortmund. Maybe Pulisic gets a goal and makes Lampard like, I might have to play this guy.
Be nice.
Really
we
spent
nice.
only, what was it? Was it 80 million or 60 million pounds they paid for Dortmund? Dortmund said, have
it was like 65 million pounds and 65 mil dollars and 80 million pounds or something like that. I don't know what the conversion was, but
I want to say that Chelsea will win this one. As you said before, they still have Conte running that midfield. The engine, he just doesn't stop, and he never stops smiling. So he's going to smile and work his way for a Chelsea 2-0 victory over Lille. What is the next game you got for me, Carl?
I got Olympic Lyon at RB Leipzig. I think both teams. RB Leipzig has played very good as of recent, except for they had a loss against Schalke recently, so they need to bounce back from that. But before that, they've been playing well. They got their win in Champions League the last time out, 2-1 over Benfica, a 3-0 win over Werder Bremen. So I think, and they drew Munich in the league recently. So I think maybe not on the best of form. Maybe they wanted another win in there, but I think they definitely have the talent. Werner, obviously, Savitzer are always playing well for them. So I think they should probably get a win here. I think Lyon has the players like Depay to attack at them. I don't know how good Leipzig's defense is, but I think Leipzig is going to look for a win here, but I think they come out with a draw. I think it's 2-2. I don't think either defense plays stellar.
Yeah, I don't like Lyon in this, and I'm a big Memphis Depay fan, as him and Moussa Dembele have been the driving force when they play in League One. But I guess Red Bull would get it for me because they've been doing so well, and besides that loss to Schalke, the 1-3, I like Timo Werner. I'd rather have. I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say I'd rather have Warner than Depay, but I think
I'd rather
have Depay. Ooh, I think Depay is one of those people that has a really hard personality to work with to get him to do what you want, and it's hard for him to work on you. But that's another point. I'll say Red Bull wins this one 2-1. I think Depay will get his goal because he's the only person to score for Lyon so far, and I think that's what I'm gonna go. I think we can go Red Bull winning this one 2-1, and I think that's gonna do it. What's the last game you got?
I got Valencia Ajax. Ajax at Valencia. Excuse me. Ajax has been on tremendous form. Really, even with the loss of their players from last season, they've still been putting up results. They tied PSV in the league. That's their only tie in their last 4 dubs. I think Malin and Promes are really on form. Promes had a hat trick on the 25th against Fortuna Sittard. So I really would look to see them push into play with Ziyech this on Wednesday. Valencia, I got the result they needed last time out. They played okay in the league, 2 draws and a win. I'd like to say that they have a chance in this game. I think they're going to keep it close, but I think Ajax is going to pull away at the end. They just have they're really on form with their offense right now. Their attack is looking solid. Even Bergwijn on the right wing as well has looked fantastic so far. So I'm going to give it to them 4-1. I think they get some trash goals at the end. I think it's like 2-1, and then they get 2 goals late and make it 4-1. I think they're going to put on an offensive showing today, or Wednesday.
I'm going to be real with you. This is going to be a landslide. I say 4-0 Ajax. Ajax, they have Tadic Sidic, as you said. They have Promes, who's caught form and looks like he's becoming a really important figure for Ajax and for the Dutch national team as another winger they can look forward to. The defense is still solid. They have Daley Blind, and they have Veltman. And they also have the rising American star in Serginho Dest. He played pretty well in the Champions League, and he's played decent for Ajax in the league. I can't even think of it right now.
Eredivisie.
In the Dutch league, yeah. So I don't think Valencia has a chance, to be honest with you. I don't think they have a chance. I think Ajax 3-0.
I think it's close early, but Ajax pulls away. All right, and I think one game that we haven't really talked about that I think, because of the result last week, could be an upset, but I hope it isn't, and that is Dortmund at Slavia Prague. Slavia Prague coming out with the result last week, or 2 weeks ago. I keep saying that because I forget they played 2 weeks apart, but Slavia Prague getting the result against Inter with a tie, almost came out with the 3 points. I think it's going to be a tougher game than people think, but I think they'll definitely show what they're worth in the, obviously, like I said, the toughest group in the Champions League this year. But Dortmund's just going to have too much talent, I think. I think they edge it out. I think it's still close, though, because I don't know. I liked what I saw out of them. So I think their defense is going to be stout. I think it's going to be 1-0 Dortmund. Dortmund's going to have trouble scoring in Champions League again. I think maybe they miss a few golden opportunities, hit a post, something like that. But I think they end up getting that one greasy goal that gets them through, gets them the 3 points.
I didn't think of this being an upset game until you told me. Then you look at Slavia's recent performance where they haven't lost. They've been winning and drawing for the last 6 games. Like I said before, I'm one of those people that likes following Dortmund. I think that Dortmund will probably get the win on this. I think it'd be 2-1. But I like your saying about how they're gonna. You said Dortmund's gonna get unlucky, get the Dortmund luck, and they hit a couple posts. Well, if you didn't know, Dortmund signed Julian Brandt, who's like the king of hitting the post.
Oh my God! Yeah.
So I think he might be he might be the guy that will probably hit the post.
For Leverkusen, for Germany, for Dortmund, he's been hitting. I feel bad for that man.
If you're ever playing Crossbar Challenge, I want Julian Brandt on my team.
He is drafted first overall.
Julian Brandt is on my team because that dude, every time I see him, he's always puzzled, look at the camera, and I'm like, okay, what happened? Show me the replay. They show me the replay. He's like 35 yards out, hitting like this wicked shot. It's curling in the top corner and then just hits off the crossbar and goes up. But I think Dortmund's attack is starting to get into gear. Even though they had a slip up against Union Berlin, newly promoted, first time promotion in the Bundesliga. Even though they have 3 draws, they've been high score. They have 2-2, 2-2. And also they have the 0-0 draw against Barca, which I think they'll bid up off of. And I think you'll see Jordan Sancho with a goal or 2.
Jaden.
I think 3-0 Slavia Prague. Or is it Jaden?
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, whoops. I'm butchering names. If you listen to this and I butcher a name, I apologize. I do apologize.
I'm trying to educate.
So I think that's going to wrap it up. I know. I need some help. I need some really bad help. Little wrap-up show. So, Carl, I don't know if you know this, but on Saturday, Actually, Sunday. I apologize. We're taping this on Tuesday or on Monday, the September 30th. By the way, should have put that in the beginning. But anyway, I bought FIFA this Sunday, FIFA 20. I haven't owned the FIFA since FIFA 18. I took 19 the year off.
Good. It was a crap
even though I had
game.
Ronaldo on the cover. I'm not gonna say that. I haven't played it. I'm not gonna condone it. But FIFA 20, I'm back in it, and man, I have not missed playing FIFA, updated FIFA. It feels great to be back. I like playing the game. It's like, okay, updated, new controls. I can play with more people. Pro Clubs has people. My favorite game mode, Pro Clubs, is populated, and I'm in there, baby. But this game is driving me crazy, and my girlfriend walked in from working like an 8-hour shift, and she walks in, she goes, "Hey," and I'm just like, "Hey." She's like, "What's wrong?" It's like, I point at the screen, I'm getting beat 5-0, and she's like, "Oh." And then like I had to like get off the game. I was like, I cannot play FIFA anymore. So if you didn't know that, I bought FIFA, and I think it's okay. What's your opinion on that?
I think it's all right. I like the new mechanics they have so far this year. It's definitely been an adjustment, but I'm getting used to it. I've liked it so far. Definitely better than 19. But maybe that's just early FIFA hype. You know, the memories gets me back into it. But I think we're going to go here into a little extra time. I think we're going to talk about our Golden Star of the Week. Taylor, do you want to start us off with that?
Yeah, if you do not know, I kind of do watch football just so I can talk junk to my friends, and I spent all Sunday talking junk to our friend Riley, who's a Saints fan. And if you don't know, I am a Cowboys fan, so I was like, no way. Teddy Bridgewater's washed up. It was a pretty bad game on both sides. It was not what we should have gotten. Or not. We shouldn't receive that. But my Golden Star, though, the first time it's happened I've ever seen in my life, and I've watched a decent amount of football, I have never in my life seen a player get quadruple covered and somebody that was so predictable what the Cowboys offense was going to do in that last 40 seconds. Amari Cooper, Golden Star. He is my Golden Star because, like I said, he is the first player I've ever seen get quadruple coverage in the modern-day football.
Makes zero sense.
Unbelievable.
But I'm going to take it away from you, and I'm going to do pretty much mirror image what you're saying. I'm my Golden Star of the Week is Marshawn Lattimore, corner for New Orleans Saints, covering Amari Cooper like a blanket, making this man eat his words over here in the group chat.
Come on. Did you have to do that to me?
I had to.
Don't air me out like this right now.
It was beautiful seeing Taylor eat his words, but I think that's why we're going to wrap it up for this week's episode. If you have any comments, suggestions, leave them under the YouTube video. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace.